come to confess your sins?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then what are they?
Here.
Alright. There is a burrito in my house, and I do not know where it is. Huh, you know, I was expecting to be in more pain after reading that. Hi again, guys, and I'm back from Austin, Texas. Not that you cared. And today, Reddit has some confessions to make, allegedly. We are gonna look at some of the weirdest titles I found on r/confessions, and while they may make you squirm, you should know that a lot of these are probably made up. Complete bogus. But you know what else is made up in complete bogus? The human centipede. And that still probably made you uncomfortable to watch. So just suspend your disbelief for me, would you? Let's just enjoy some good storytelling. If you enjoy this video, there will be this big card at the end that you can click or tap to take you to another one like it. It gets me all flustered when you do that. Also, only like 18% of you have notifications turned on. It only takes like 2 seconds to click that bell and make me blush even harder because of how nice you're being to me. Do you want to maybe like grab coffee sometime? Let's finish that burrito one first. Leaving you off on just the title feels like I'm being a cock tease. I got drunk this week after work and ordered a steak burrito. At some point, I wanted to hide the burrito, so I opened a door and threw it. I do not know why I did this. I love the question mark included in the text. It just really captures that feeling of getting blackout drunk and trying to figure out your own decision-making process the night before. There's a burrito somewhere in my house, and I am having a really hard time finding it. I've looked behind all the doors, and I'm afraid my family might find it. I get why that's embarrassing for someone else to find, but the dude's talking about a steak burrito like the meat is actually human organs. I have heard appendix tastes good from a couple surgeon buddies of mine, but like, not that good. Also, I'm hoping he just chucked it out the door that led outside and it conked some random guy on his way home in the head, just covering him in human entrails and what is undeniably blood. Explaining that one would be a fun conversation with the family. Got a raise after jerking off in the bathroom. See, this is more like what I was expecting to find. I was alone in the office last week, so I locked the office and rubbed one out in the bathroom. The next day, my boss told me I was doing a great job and gave me a raise. The irony is palpable. No, your boss was talking about you jacking off. He's really impressed. Sometimes the best thing about these posts is the comments. You came into some money. Believe it or not, there are funny people on Reddit. I feel like this could actually be a good way to rig getting employee of the month every month. Just periodically, randomly, before anyone gets to work, you make a mess of the bathroom or whatever room you want to. Just pee in the corners, shit in the walls, drink enough milk that you puke it back into the urinals, whatever you gotta do, and then leave without getting caught. Then, when another employee gets there and sees the mess, you pretend to have just arrived after they got there, and you offer to clean it up yourself. It did come out of you, so it's probably easier to clean than a normal mess. Now that I think about it, that's definitely how SpongeBob did it. There's no way dude got best employee 44 months in a row without cheating. At least he's better at hiding it than EE was.
The Neolithic Revolution.
It's the Neolithic Revolution. There is no planet where EE knows what the Neolithic Revolution is. I don't know. I've known him for 10 years. I promise you. And I've told him that to his face. I was at Genesis. I was like, Neolithic, huh?
Tonight, I dug shit out of my ass. This one is long, and unless you want me to turn into a text-to-speech bot, I'm not gonna read the whole thing, so here's a summary. Basically, this guy has been constipated for 2 weeks straight, and when it finally got to the point where he had to open the chocolate factory back up, he was too backed up to get anything out. He describes the poo blockage like a cannonball. Just a wad of feces that if you dropped in a cannon would be able to cleave someone's head off when shot at them. He'd been on the toilet for an hour at that point, so he's getting desperate, and decides to take matters into his own hands. He just sticks his fingers up there, breaking up the poo manually. He gets all sorts of angles. He's just making them into smaller bits. There's blood, but he's got to finish the job. But then when he got one piece out in particular, it was like the drain got pulled in the bathtub, and the built-up sewage came flooding through the nearest available exit. After that, he was basically nothing but skin and skeleton. Everything inside of him had just been drained out. If you do take the time to read this post yourself, you can tell the guy had a good fucking time writing it. The descriptions read like they're by someone who's written countless vivid sex scenes and smut fanfics. Do not ask how I know those are written. I downvote my ex-boyfriend's comments. I am not normally petty, but my ex got me into Reddit, and he used to get raging when people downvoted his comments. So if I'm sitting, taking a shit, and scrolling on here, I'll take a swing by his account and just downvote everything purely because it makes me laugh. r/confessions is a huge range of depraved man. Some of these are things you wouldn't get out of me if you had a gun to my head, but you could get out of me if I had a burner Reddit account. And then others are just fun little stories you can actually tell your friends over a meal without making them puke it right back out. This is close to the most harmless pettiness I've ever seen. Low effort, high impact, and extremely targeted for the biggest reaction possible. I've realized I can get my husband to do more housework by dominating him sexually. You might not believe me now, but this goes in a very positive direction. For the people involved, that is, not for us jealous readers. I've noticed as I get more bold and tease him more, he started doing more around the house, like picking up groceries, making dinner, even the laundry, which is usually my job. It's nice and it's fun. When is it my turn to be happy? I would make a great male wife. Edit, my husband already does his fair share of chores. I said more housework. If my husband didn't already contribute to the household, I would not be as attracted to him. Nothing feels less sexy than feeling like your partner's mom. Oh, I see the problem here. I have to be able to take care of myself first. I listen to Earl Sweatshirt, so you know I do not do that shit. Some might even say that my problem is that I listen to Earl Sweatshirt. I like to creep around my home and act like a goblin. I've already established this, but same. I don't know why, but I just enjoy doing this. Maybe it's my way of dealing with stress or something, but I just do it about once every week. I don't know, so far this sounds like a pretty good coping mechanism. You're not doing it excessively, it sounds like. Everything in moderation, they say. And so far you're showing more impulse control over this than I have with anything ever. Generally, I'll carry around a sack and creep around in sort of a crouch walking position, making goblin noises. Then I'll walk around my house and pick up various different trinkets and put them in my bag while saying stuff like, "I'll be having that," and laughing maniacally in my goblin voice. Trinkets can include anything from shit I found on the ground to cutlery or other utensils. Most sane Dungeons & Dragons roleplayer. That's the most innocently weird pastime I've heard about in a while. I wish I had something that I did religiously on a weekly basis that I knew would bring me this kind of guaranteed joy. You know, other than alcohol. The other day I was talking with my neighbors and they mentioned hearing weird noises like what I wrote about, and I was just internally screaming the entire conversation. I'm 99% sure they don't know it's me, but God, that 1% chance is seriously weighing on my mind. You know that saying, don't kill the part of you that is cringe, kill the part that cringes? I'm hoping you don't listen to that because it would mean I'd be out of a job, but generally speaking, it's true. If the thing makes you happy and hurts nobody, then you really shouldn't care if somebody genuinely shits on you for it. This is coming from me, a full-time hater, and I still stand by that. For instance, it's bad enough that my neighbors hear me talk to myself when I'm recording or streaming on twitch.tv/Kwite, where we have lots of fun. I kinda only realized how awkward it can get when I had company staying over, and I forgot that I was not currently living alone. I made the noise, and then I realized, wait a second, somebody else is gonna hear this. The only thinking, living thing I do this shit in front of on purpose is my cat and you guys through a screen. Also to any ghosts who might be beating their dicks in the corner of the room. I just hid in the bathroom to eat a cookie so I didn't have to share it with my wife. In the first line, it's my cookie. If this confession was an essay, then that would be the thesis statement. They gave it to me at Starbucks this morning because they were late with my bagel. Just to me. I saved it all day, and now I wanted to eat the whole thing without being asked to share it or feeling like I should because it's the polite thing to do. I feel like I betrayed her, but I don't really feel bad. It was an awesome cookie. I know he's right. He should enjoy that cookie however he wants. It is his. But I love the phrasing at the end saying he betrayed her. It makes it sound like he did something a lot worse. Yeah, I literally backstabbed her and paralyzed her from the waist down. And if that wasn't enough, I completely ruined her social life. I destroyed any chance of her having a happy future. But I don't care. Fuck that bitch. I'm over her already. That's what you'd think it's about, but it's actually just a Starbucks cookie. I did a monster check for my 7-year-old and had my own anxiety attack from it. I live in an 115-year-old house and has the original woodwork and all that. My 7-year-old hears me walking and gets scared there's a monster, so I do what any good dad does and comfort him by telling him I'll go check for monsters. Ah shit, we got some stiff competition for the holder of the #1 dad mug this year. Last night he said he heard a noise in the basement, which is unfinished and honestly a little creepy. So I went down and looked with no lights on to prove to him there's nothing to be afraid of. This is already shaping up to be a too high of a risk thing so far. Like, what if the kid's right and you just die? He can lose a few hours of sleep to save your hide. I told him I would count to 100 down there and be okay. I went down, turned off all the lights, and counted to 100. Those were easily the scariest 100 seconds of that kid's life because he just saw his dad go into the dark. Didn't hear a damn thing. The moment I turned the lights off, I had incredible panic that was something there, but persisted to 100. See, this is where you count at hide and seek speed, where 100 seconds is actually just counting to 100 as fast as you can. As I went upstairs, I fought every urge to run up the stairs as not to freak him out. He went to bed satisfied that there were no monsters. I did not. I now leave my basement lights on all the time. And yeah, this is why I think we either need to make night lights okay for adults to use or start forcing kids to live without them. The fear of the dark will not go away if you use a nightlight as a kid, and it shouldn't. It makes perfect sense to see faces in the pitch black darkness, but the truth is that you were never made to confront and overcome it, so we're still scared of it. And if that's how we want to keep doing it, it should be socially acceptable to keep using them as adults. I almost killed myself with a vibrator. I'm so stupid. I used a vibrator a few weeks back and left it it in my bed, forgetting to unplug it. I live alone. I woke up with the thing going beside me because I got super drunk last night and rolled on top of it, which flicked it on. It's completely melted and my whole apartment smells like burnt plastic. I thought it was minutes away from setting my whole apartment on fire, which is both embarrassing and terrifying. Moral of the story, always unplug your vibrator, SMH. Titles like that always make you think the near-death experience is gonna have to do with the item being inside the almost dead person. And I don't know if I'm more relieved or disappointed that it ended up being about the general danger of all electronics. This is essentially the same type of disaster you can have by putting a toaster in a bathtub. Though vibrator in the bed sheets does sound like a better slogan in my opinion. Anyways, that's what I can stomach this video. That card I mentioned should be on screen now. Remember to subscribe with notifications on because I said so, and don't go after anyone I talked about in today's video. This has been Kwite, and I need to go break up some poo stuck in my bum.